All right, I popped the cover off, which is pretty easy. A little pry bar underneath here. Pop it, it comes off super easy. No brakes or anything like that. Little tabs. So I had been washing the car one day, and I took the brush and I hit the mirror, and it totally took the mirror out of whack. So now I can't take the mechanical mirror with a little control and move it out to where I need it to cover my blind spot. What I'm going to try to do is get into the guts of this, because it still will move around, but it gets hung up on this one little area. I think it just pushed it too far in theory. So I'm going to go in there and see if I can reset the gears to where they need to be aligned so that I can adjust the mirror properly and cover my blind spot. So the first screw I see here is this one for this light component here, which is a blinker. I'll take that off, and I'm not using a drill because I don't want to strip anything. And then I'll set these on the ground here. Like I said, I've never done this before, so I'm just trying to figure it out. All right, I got a screw here that might take this whole thing off, and that will let me take that off. Okay, we're learning as we go. Yeah, I don't think they're meant to be taken apart, honestly. They want you to buy something new, but I like to fix my stuff. All right, that one popped off. Had some, so that goes on the very bottom there. Another screw here, that's why I couldn't take it off. And that comes right off. We got a little connector right here. So that's the whole blinker assembly. All right, so we got a bunch of wires here. I'm not sure if that comes right out. All right, that was easy. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws. I got all these little wires I don't want to mess up. I'm scared to take the glass out. I got it. Finally got it. I got the mirror disconnected. All these wires wrapped around this thing that I have to carefully undo. I'm gonna just set this up here like that. I don't think it's going anywhere. That'll probably be a mistake that we'll replay later. But if you look right here, I don't know how well you can see, but that goes in and out of the motor. You see those threads? And when I turn it, it goes in and out, just like that. So what's wrong with it that it won't turn and adjust as I want it to when I'm in the car driving? Because I didn't see any broken pieces. There were no broken pieces. Nothing fell out. It's got a gasket on the bottom. One's got a gasket right here. Oh, that gasket fell out. That might be my problem right there. That may be it. All right. If you look here, there's a black gasket right here. Now the bottom one, when I hit it, the black gasket came out. See that gasket now? How it's flopping around? See how that's flopping around? I got to get that back in the motor. Let's take this screw out. This has got a big spring in it, so that's going to be fun putting back in there. But I have to be able to get that gasket back in there. And a little spring in there. Okay, there we go. All right, so got it. See, the gasket came out. That's got to go back in the motor. Yep, it's got a little rip in it. It's got a tear in it. This white stuff's the grease they put on there, but there's a tear on the gasket right there. Put the gasket back in there it belongs. So this one feels real solid. It's in there. It'll move left and right, but there's no wiggle on it. This guy right here, it moves left and right. It just doesn't feel as solid because it has that, it got split. The gasket got a little gash in it. The only things that move are these two motors. And these are spring loaded. But you only need two motors to do the X and Y axis. I'm just curious if I get it all back together and it didn't fix the problem. Then I'm gonna be mad. Or just upset, I guess. So these little gears are just plastic threaded things, and I don't want to force them into the motor because it's plastic. It could strip them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them in the motor slightly. I'm going to maneuver it so it will so it can take the threads in. There we go. This has got a spring. And just nice and snug. It wasn't hard to get off. I don't know the torque setting. I just make it nice and snug. I didn't want to force it too tight. These little black guys are spring loaded. You push them in, they spring load in and out. But once they get in so far, it triggers the motor. Hey, you've gone far as you can go. Stop going. That's how it tells when it's maxed out, left or right, up or down. All right. Like I said, we're learning as we go. Let's put it all back together and hope for the best. So far, I wonder if this got bent too. That did not fix it. What do? We take it all apart again? To make the mirror go up further, that bolt that goes into the motor needs to be longer, allowing it to push up further. Did I break the bolt off in the motor to where a part of that little threaded bolt is not there to actually push it up further? Let's see here. I'm taking the mirror back off again. I have the mirror. I'm going to place it on the seat so I don't break it. We're going to take this plate off again. I can't tell if this broke off inside there or not. I think these are supposed to be longer. And if that's the case and I broke those off in there, then I'm screwed. See if there's anything inside there. That's just grease, and more grease. Doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like there's something stuck in there. I hit this thing and pushed it out of whack, and it's never been right since. The only thing I could find wrong was this gasket being off. But that would have kept it from going down further, not up. And these are my little sensors. When you push those in, it lets the thing know, hey, you've gone too far. But when I hear that bump, 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 it's out of thread. There's nothing else to push out. And that's what it's bouncing. It just bounces off of there. So when I'm pushing it, the motor's turning, forcing that. When I turn it up or down, it's forcing this thing out of the motor. And when it gets all the way up there and it does that bump, 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 means it's out of this thread. There's no more thread to push out. So this should be longer. It does not look like it was broken off or anything. Nothing else seems to be out of whack or broken. So what did I do when I hit it so hard that keeps it from going back the way it was? This is where I'm stuck. I wonder if I could order this motor mechanism, or do I need to order another one of these? I think I figured it out. I just had an epiphany. This is bent. Out of whack. That's my problem. This guy right here was bent all the way down. But if I look in here, where was it getting the grease from? It had to come in contact with grease. It was covered in grease. But where it was hitting up here, there was no grease. But what's right there? Grease. This is supposed to fall into that hole. That's what I bent out of shape. Okay, so we're going to put it all back together again. I'm betting that this metal piece was the problem. And we learned something, hopefully. It was really bent over. This thing was laid flat down here when it should have been sticking up. So I could have fixed this whole thing by just popping the mirror off, fixing that bar, and popping it all back together. I wouldn't have had to take the whole thing apart to figure that out. But I did not know that. I had to figure that out part of that is the journey of doing it yourself. This is how we learn, folks. I think I fixed it. Now we just got to finish putting it all back together. It's got 2 screws on it. I remember seeing that metal piece when it first happened, and it seemed odd to me then, but I did not make the connection. All right, let's see if it works. It works perfectly now. I fixed it. So there you go, guys. Sometimes you just have to take your time, pull it apart, find out what's going on, and fix it yourself. Changing this all, just buying the part would have cost me $250 or something just for the mirror itself. And then I would have had to take the whole door apart and everything to get it back in there. And if I was going to pay somebody, who knows how much that would have taken. So doing it myself, I found the problem. I caused the problem. I didn't see any parts fall out. And then I was able to find the problem eventually, put it back together, and now it works like it's supposed to. And I've got everything original back in its place. There's smudges all over the mirror, but Windex will take care of that. So yeah, a little fun experiment. We did it. It only took us 1 hour. I've trimmed the video so you didn't have to watch for an hour. But like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stuff.